how does Fogo Island fit into the bigger world? Like, I think that question about how does the part belong to the whole? And how do we all fit together? Like, I think that's such a beautiful, that is a source of wonder. But it's also, you realize, hey, we can do things to make them fit together better. And I think that's what hospitality does.
Absolutely. I was born to look after people. You nurtured that to keep looking after people in different senses. And Newfoundlanders and Fogo Islanders especially know how to look after people. So
you just described asset-based community development. Did you know that? ABCD, the best tool of business. What do we know? What do we have? What do we love? What do we miss? And what can we do about it? Good businesses take care of people too. I remember in the early days when we were talking about how are we going to practice hospitality that reflects this culture and reflects your ancestors and mine and everybody else's. Culture is not something that you have, it's something that you do. And so you need to live in that place and you need to make your living in that place. And hospitality is actually quite a simple thing. It's the love of a stranger.
But I don't think I really realized the responsibility of what we were actually doing until we opened our doors.
And felt, ooh.
And then it was real. People started coming from far away and also realizing that we had a large portion of the community actually working in this building and taking care of people. And having that responsibility of making sure that there were going to be jobs and money and
dignity and
incomes for all these people to help them stay here on Fogo Island didn't really hit me until we were open.
Yeah, 1/3 of the households on this island, one way or another, work directly with us.
Yes.
Either at the inn or in the foundation. 1/3 of the households whose incomes matter, these businesses matter to them.
And that's amazing accomplishment.
Has it surprised you the number of talents and skills and capacities that we've been able to find?
I don't think it surprises me because I think we've been a very self-sufficient people in the 400 years that they've been here on Fogo Island. And I think they've had to do a lot in order to survive all those years and to provide for themselves, which is still what we're doing.
I think there's a downside to that confidence. I think it makes us not the best planners sometimes.
Maybe.
Because we think, we'll figure that out tomorrow.
Yeah.
But if we made a plan today, it might be easier tomorrow.
Right, or we wouldn't have to do it over again.
We wouldn't have to, yeah, exactly.
She has a very quick ability to learn and discern what's important. I told her, focus what's important and don't forget what is not important. So she has this ability to know what's important, to pick and to strengthen it such that it thrives. And people respond to it because it comes naturally.
Usually people don't allow their projects to reveal quite so much about one's character. But the Inn and Zita, I think, are just it's the same thing.
It's how she shows she cares. Like some people just bake you cookies and they say, I love you, here's some cookies. And for her, it's like, here's a whole philosophy, enjoy.
The Fogo Island Inn overlooks a town called Joe Bat's Arm. Zita Cobb grew up in Joe Bat's Arm. She grew up in Canada in the 1960s without electricity and running water, in what was essentially a barter economy. And she refers to this as having lived in 3 centuries. And I think she sees herself as being a link within her community to the changing times that are happening all around us.
Too often people have lost their relationship with place, because place and home holds onto your relationships. Like, you can go away and come back and you still have those relationships, they still carry on, even with the past. It's a gift to know who you are, which is very much tied to place and history. Really puts you in the right frame of mind to be hospitable. And I think that's why Fogo Islanders are so deeply, deeply hospitable, because they're not fearful.
It's not easy. She's not out of the woods. Like this is very hard work, and it consumes her. But she has already put her mark in the world, in Canada. People recognize that, and I think people should know that it's her own stamina and personality to do that.
It's very visible, the effects in a place like this. You know, it's very visible when people start going to work. It's very visible when more people start coming here and they're shopping at the local businesses and they're eating at the restaurants.
And that is business that's a part of the flow of life. And that's the whole thing. Done properly, and if it's entangled deeply in the community it's in, it supports the flow of life. It's just a small shift in how we see business and how to practice it. And when you make those shifts, that is deeply satisfying too.
Zita's passion is to give back. It's to build community.
Shorefast is really about economic and cultural resilience on Fogo Island. Fogo Island actually has a deep history with art and using art as a form of collaboration and community development. And our artist in residency program, Fogo Island Arts. Through that program, we built 4 artist studios around Fogo Island, and they were really a great test run for the Fogo Island Inn, which is really a shining example of social enterprise. And Fogo Island Inn is really world renowned for our food and our hospitality and our architecture, but it's really the fact of how it's a social enterprise and what that means to the community. So all of the profits from the inn are returned to the community through the foundation and reinvested back in the community through our charitable programs.
This is an irrepressible, undefeatable person who has deep beliefs but has retained the sense of who she is from where she came from. No loss of dignity and no great pride either. She's Zita.
Please welcome Zita Cobb, inductee as companion to the Order of the Canadian Business Hall of Fame.